Well, this definitely is not the video topic that I thought we would be bringing up. But it actually is a topic that we had explored earlier in the season. Because, believe it or not, as crazy as you may think this prospect being ranked in this spot is, it's not the first time we've talked about it. Today, we are diving into Corey Pronman of The Athletic and his recently revealed 2026 NHL Draft rankings. Now, the draft rankings are always changing, and guys like Corey Pronman, Scott Wheeler, Max Bultman, they're always going out there and changing up the lists over the course of the year. But when it comes to yesterday's Corey Pronman 2026 ranking, the title of the article itself is a sight to behold. Why Chase Reid is the number one prospect in Corey Pronman's 2026 NHL Draft ranking. Oh my goodness, baby, we are talking about Chase Reid in the number one spot. Now, because The Athletic is paid for material, we'll leave a link in the description to this article, posted yesterday. If you have The Athletic, you can go out there and read it yourself. But one of the excerpts from this piece was cut and posted onto Twitter, courtesy of NHL Watcher. Pronman has Reid ranked as his number one prospect. The rationale starts with his physical profile and toolkit. Chase Reid is a 6'3" right-shot D-man with the mobility to fly around the ice. When you watch him create in transition or walk the offensive blue line, his high-end improvisation skills immediately jump out. He has the speed, hands, vision, and shot to generate high-danger chances consistently, and eventually become a leading scorer for an NHL team. Now that's a really interesting take. Can I see Chase Reid one day being the points leader for his NHL club? Well, it's really going to depend on which team he gets drafted to, right? Let's say he goes number one to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's not assume he will, but let's just say he does. He's ranked number one after all. Do I see Chase Reid outscoring Austin Matthews or William Nylander in any given year? Honestly, probably not. If Chase Reid goes second overall to the San Jose Sharks, do you think at any point this guy's going to get more points in a season than Macklin Celebrini? I'd probably say not. Now, for the Vancouver Canucks at number 3, it's not really like the Canucks have too many super high-end guys in their system that's going to light the lamp consistently. So maybe Chase Reid has a better chance of leading the Vancouver Canucks in points at some point if he gets drafted there and develops properly. But that's a small list, right? 3 teams at the top of the draft and only one he has a realistic chance of being the points leader in one season. That's assuming Elias Pettersson doesn't bounce back. That's assuming Marco Rossi doesn't continue progressing in the way that he has. I'd say that this claim that Chase Reid can lead his team in points is a pretty big one, and one that you might have some pretty easy disagreements with. Let's go out there and read some of the replies. Justin Oilers goes out there and says, hey, Chase Reid should be ranked number 1. The Leafs would be dumb not to take him. They've never had a number 1 defenseman. Now, okay. While I get that this is joking around, this is obviously an Oilers fan going out there and saying, haha, yeah, the Maple Leafs, they should draft Chase Reid in the first overall spot. I still do think at the same time that if Chase Reid pans out to being what he could be, let's say some sort of an offensive D-man, the production of an Evan Bouchard with maybe a stylistic comparable game to Zach Werenski, for example, if he ends up becoming that, then okay, yeah, he might actually be the best Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman we have seen in ages. What, that Morgan Rielly 70-point season wasn't good enough for you? Look, the point is, the Toronto Maple Leafs have not had a number 1 defenseman to that magnitude of a Werenski or a Bouchard or a Makar or a Hughes since, I don't know, Salming? Are we going to say Thomas Kaberle was one of those guys? Probably not, right? But either way, when you think about Chase Reid being ranked number 1, it obviously is a bold and hot take because Reid hasn't really been ranked first overall by anybody else. And I say that fully knowing we did make a video about Chase Reid potentially being the first overall ranked prospect earlier in this season, but guess what? We made that video because Corey Pronman a few months ago was also ranking Chase Reid at that spot still. Pronman is not letting down on this Chase Reid first overall idea. He is just the best prospect in Pronman's view, and he has been for a while. Add on to this, you have the folks over on Elite Prospects. They made themselves a video on YouTube earlier this month talking about how Chase Reid is a first overall caliber defenseman. So maybe this idea isn't actually as far-fetched as you may assume when just looking at all the draft rankings, but at the same time, you got to think about it like this too. Reid has been pretty much ranked to go second to San Jose, third to Vancouver if Vancouver really wants to pass up on Malhotra, which doesn't seem to be reality at this point. But at the very least, Chase Reid could be going 4. Maybe if Chicago doesn't want a defenseman, he could go 5. He's a top guy. And so anybody that can realistically go number 2 or number 3, I'd say that unless you have a McDavid, that guy probably could be in the conversation for first overall as well, if there is room for debate. And there is room for debate with Gavin McKenna. Even though it's like a 70% chance that he's going to go first overall, there is still a small percentage of people vying for a Ivar Stenberg to go 1, or maybe even, in Pronman's case, a Chase Reid to go number 1. Now, for what it's worth, there is a reasonable level of doubt being pushed out there in the replies as well. Liam Gutman said this: Pronman had Drouin over McKinnon, Laine over Matthews, he had Hudson's compete level as average, and he also ranked Hudson as a worse prospect than Anton Silayev as recently as 2024. He has Reid better because he likes Jones more than Panarin, since Jones has a ring. Completely unserious takes. Now, that is like gut punch after uppercut after finishing move after fatality. There are a number of takes that Pronman has had over the years that have been bad. They've aged badly. There's no way Patrick Laine is a more worthwhile pickup than Austin Matthews. Lane Hudson is a better player than Anton Silayev. At the end of the day, though, Corey Pronman, he does put in the work, and it's why he is one of the main prospect dudes on The Athletic who is consistently given a platform to share his takes and his opinions about prospects. And plus, it makes for some very fun conversation topics on this YouTube channel when thinking about guys that could go first overall that most people would say have no business going first overall. Chase Reid, number 1? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this prospect being in that spot of the draft? Is it a realistic possibility for Toronto to take him 1, or does he go number 2 to San Jose? Does he go 3 to Vancouver over Caleb Malhotra? I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.